this Alteryx Weekly Challenge is all about joining some different data sets together and working out some calculations from them. So our first data set has the most detail. It has each whale ID, each day of each year, and how many kilometers they swam. Our next one has a way for us to connect our whale migration to our whale species, as it has our kind of key fields of whale ID and pod ID. And then our final input has the pod ID along with the whale species. So I decided to start here, just joining on that pod ID so that we get our whale species for each of our pods. And then we can then join our whale ID onto our whale migration so that we have all of that granular information about the whale species and the pod ID from the other two data sets. So now what we want to do is calculate the total kilometers per pod, and also know how many whales are in that pod. So we do a group by the whale species, the pod ID, the year. So it's for each year that total kilometers. So we sum up those kilometers and then we do a count distinct of the whale ID to know how many whales are in that pod. Now we can calculate the average kilometers per whale just by doing the sum kilometers divided by the whales in the pod. And I've set that to be a double. That's the part I always forget to do, is remembering to change the data type. And now we just want for each year and for each species which pods are swimming the most per whale. So what we're doing here is we're grouping by the whale species, we're grouping by the year, and we're calculating the maximum average distance per whale. And then when we join that back on, we join it on the whale species and the year, and then we join that average kilometre per whale with the maximum kilometre per whale, so then that just returns for us the top swimming pod. And the other change that we've made in here is just to make it a fixed decimal, and doing it 19.2, so it has 2 decimal places afterwards, just so it's nice and uniform rather than having lots and lots of decimal places. So hopefully that was nice and easy to follow. There are definitely other ways to do this, but I hope this solution was useful for you. Thanks for watching.